So today discuss about that how to work with your research objective, mainly integrate the geospatial and machine learning methodology for drought monitoring in the Para River
Mhm.
Basin or basin area.
Uh-huh.
So how to use the different types of multi-source satellite imagery, localized climate data set, and random forest classification to predict, map, and imitate the agriculture drought. And so first of all,
Okay.
if you check, this is your environmental context of the Para River Basin. Okay, so you also try to create more
Mm.
better when you work. Okay, so this is the methodological blueprint. So first of all, we define our study area. Okay, is the first phase context our study area. Then phase two,
Mhm.
we discuss about that this type of data collection, MODIS, STARPS, or SMAP data collection, and we try to
Mhm.
create for pre-processing mainly seasonal and separation. For suppose different season when you work, summer season, rainy season, these type of things. Then we discuss about
Mhm.
that indicators, mainly different types of indicators, mainly NDVI, LST, or others. And phase
Mhm.
three, we discuss about that special temporal tracking from 2015 to 2025 this time, and we take some
Mhm.
training sample. We also create some training sample. Further, we simply apply the machine learning algorithm, and further we check the
Mhm.
validation or accuracy. And finally, we just simply create the severity mapping. The severity mapping mainly where is the high drought, low drought, or severe drought. We will try to identify, and also real world application. So this is the different types of phase we simply create for our method or methodological blueprint. After that, when you work with the multi-source climate data set, so first of all, MODIS, it's one kind of satellite data. We can easily get the different types of NDVI, EVI for vegetation condition. We also check. We stuck the LST for land surface temperature, okay, and stuck the NWI for surface moisture. What the scenario? So from the MODIS, we can easily get this type of item, and from the charts, basically, it's provide you the precipitation. Extract the localized rainfall time series we also get from here. Quantifies long-term precipitation anomalies we also get from here. And also microwave or radar data. From here, we can easily get the SMAP or soil map or soil moisture data we also get. Extract the granular soil moisture data set and track the deep underground root stress we can also get from the soil map. So this type of sensor, mainly MODIS, then CHARPS, and also SMAP, mainly microwave radar, we also use. And this type of, you can also use some ancillary data input, suppose DEM or topography data, digital elevation model, or land cover maps, or basin boundary. So we also use this type of things for the geospatial processing hub. We also use this type of data. And after using this type of data, we simply use the different types of seasonal stratification. Seasonal, suppose dry season, what the scenario? Wet season, what the scenario? We try to check this type of result. For the dry season, what the condition for the drought? For the dry season, what's the behavior of drought? We try to identify this type of things. And what the and also for another season, suppose wet season stratification map we also try to create, and also check what the drought behavior on the wet season. Okay, and also apply different types of cloud maxing or spatial harmonization or reprojection. We also do this type of process also, and we try to identify two season, okay, drought behavior for dry season and also wet season. We try to create this type of things. And then we also use this type of six dimension of the drought, diagonal six matrix. We also use NDVI, LST, NDWI, SPI, SMI, and VSI. We also use this type of indicators. Okay, and we also get this type of sources, this type of data we can easily collect from here. And these are the focus, suppose vegetation greenness, okay, from the NDVI. LS2 compute the surface heat, NWI compute the surface moisture, SPI we simply create the precipitation anomalies, and SMI we can easily get the root zone water, or VSI it's a combined the stress. We also identify, so you can see low values equal to biological stress, okay, drought signal. High values rapid evapotranspiration or stress. Low values indicating about that dry surface conditions. Then negative values indicating about the critical deficits we also get from here. Then low values equal to agricultural drought, okay, for the SMI. And VSI, low values indicate about that biological or thermal failure for the VSI. And we also apply the SPI and VSI. SPI basically rainfall anomaly gives we also use. So you can see we are computing the SPI. If the SPI value is the less than 0, it is the weighted or than normal. SPI less than 0, drier than normal. Then this type of value, we'll create this type of map also and identify if the value is the SPI value is the less than -2, it is extreme drought condition. We also try to classify this type of also. And VSI, the combined stress engine. So we just combine the VCI, mainly vegetation condition index, and TCI, temperature condition index, and compute the VSI, vegetation health index. So this is the formula about that. Okay, vegetation health index. So it also used also for identify for the drought condition. And I also write this type of formula also in here for. And finally, simply identify trend. Okay, suppose we are just applying the three trend options. Suppose one is for the linear regression, man candle, and also scene slope. We also use to identify for the trend, or the trend for drought condition. We also discuss about that, and identify a special hotspot for the drought for your study area. And this is the machine learning concept. So we simply input all of data: NDVI, LST, NWI, SPI, SMI, rainfall, then topography data, elevation, slope, land cover data, simply input in the random forest algorithm. Further is simply classified: no drought, mild drought, moderate drought, severe drought, and extreme drought. Help of machine learning algorithm. Okay, so this type of it's our predictor value. It's called the predictor value. We simply apply in our model, and further we simply classified this type of classes also. Okay. And then this is the model and training and validation protocol. So we also check the testing and training data sets, about 70% data for training, 30% data for testing, and we create the confusion matrix table, and also check the overall accuracy and producer accuracy or consumer accuracy. Okay, we also try to check this type of validation protocol. We also check after making the model. Let's discuss about that. And finally, we simply create the drought severity mapping. Okay, for 2015 and 2025. Okay, so then we can easily identify the isolating the geographic where is the high drought condition. We'll try to identify this type of places. Okay, this type of map you can see. You can easily create it. Identify for the hot spot. Okay, using the drought severity mapping also create. And finally, from the we simply apply this type of mechanism. Okay, for that, suppose rainfall data SPI, SMI, or NDVI or LST also use by mapping the invisible mechanism of drought. Okay, we also use this type of things, and it's there a lot of implication for early warning system, agriculture planning, or water resource management. We also use this type of things. So this is the overall summary of your full work. So we just apply this type of things step by step. And I hope it also help you for your research work, and also you can also learn this type of things easily. Yeah. Okay. Any question you have, you can ask me, please. Any question? Hello. 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 Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hello. Sorry,
please,
I lost connection again.
Yeah. Any question you can ask me, please.
I'm so impressed with your presentation. Right?
Yeah.
It's so wonderful. Yeah. So, will I get access to this slide? Right?
Yeah. I also send you the slide. You also try to read it more better. Okay. And if there are any changes, you can also before the class you can also ask me. I also try to change this type of.
Okay. And you mentioned in your presentation, you mentioned MODIS data sets.
Yeah, MODIS.
So it means you are not going to do it Landsat or Sentinel.
It's also possible. No problem.
But I want to know, because right now you are the expert, right?
Yeah. It's also possible.
Yeah. So MODIS and Landsat or Sentinel, which one is best? So that I will state in my presentation.
Okay, so basically, in this time, MODIS it provides you the ready-made product. It's provide the ready-made product. But for the Landsat and Sentinel, we just use the raw image and then we compute this type of things we need to compute. We just use the raw image and compute. But MODIS, it provides you the ready-made product. Suppose already it create the NDVI product, LST product, or NDWI product. So it already created. But when you work with the Landsat or Sentinel, we just need to take the image and we just apply the image analysis and then compute NDVI, LST, or others.
Okay. Because in my literature review, I've already stated Landsat and Sentinel, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's also possible, no problem. We can also just use the Landsat to compute NDVI, EVI, or LST easily, no problem. But MODIS, because it's a ready-made product, we can easily get this type of data easily, very quickly we can get it, no problem.
Okay. And then looking at the spatial resolutions differences.
Yes. So Landsat is more better than MODIS.
Okay.
Because Landsat is only 30 meter, MODIS is the 500 meter or 1000 meter pixel size.
Okay. Then I will prefer us to use the Landsat if you don't mind.
Okay, no problem. We try to use the Landsat, no problem.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so
and
yeah, please.
Okay. Maybe from when we start the main classes, I hope maybe you create a platform so that the classes can be recorded so that I can revisit.
So I will give you the invitation on the Google Classroom. Okay, you can easily join the Google Classroom. And further we simply continue the class and all of material, mainly slide or decoded class and also practice code. You can get all of those in the Google Classroom. No problem.
Sure.
So in the meantime, you also create your study area and your boundary shape file. Okay, you can also send me your shape file. Okay, then I will just work with your shape file and then try to read this type of data. Further, I simply show you the class and also discuss about the process or method.
Okay, I have the data, the boundary shape file already, so I'll just send it to you.
Okay, you can also send me that boundary shape file. Then we start. Suppose let me check the time. So 4th April, yeah.
Yes, you said 12th April.
Yeah. 12th April we'll start. Okay, first class.
Okay.
We start from 12th. In the meantime, you can send me your boundary shape file. I also try to complete this type of work also. Then I simply show you the result and also discuss about the method. It also helps. Yeah.
Okay,
no problem. So in the meantime, I'll send you this slide. You also try to read it more better and properly. Then you also discuss.
All right.
Okay.
I am so impressed. Thank you so much.
Thank you.